Hi everyone, my name's Harriet Green, and I've been asked to round out this amazing digital online event and answer the question, how do you really wow and get that job that you want and is good for you? So I'm going to talk about really 6 things. The first, the amazing opportunities that exist right now as we come through this huge vortex of change. Secondly, how it all starts with you, what shape you are in for this uber important quest for a role. Thirdly, do you have the skills that the world needs and this company needs, and how do you acquire them? Fourth, how you research the company that you are interviewing with and the person that's interviewing you. 5, how you dissect the role. And finally, a bit of Harriet motivation to go out there and wow. So firstly, the opportunity. The whole world is coming through an extraordinary vortex of change. Climate change, health and the pandemic and the changes brought about there, the extraordinary epoch of technology that we're entering into, and then of course, the deep, deep change around inclusion and diversity. These changes represent opportunities, real opportunities, times when organizations often become more creative in how they recruit and how your particular matching of capabilities with the company can often help with innovation-led growth. Indeed, after the last pandemic in the 50s, Sony came out after the pandemic with their extraordinary, game-changing transistor radio, which created an entire industry. After the dot-com bubble crash in 2000 in Silicon Valley, Apple came out with their industry-changing iPod. And the mighty Microsoft were formed after the downturn in the 70s. So even though there's a huge amount of change, it is also rich with opportunity. Many more risks being taken under the guise of the pandemic. And secondly, I said it all starts with you, and it really does. You need to be in tremendous shape to really embark upon this important work to find a role that you are truly happy with. I've written about emotional fitness, how you can develop your self-awareness, your empathy, how you foster a greater sense of play within your brain, your curiosity, resilience, mindfulness, and increased and enhanced communication skills. And I do feel that it is enormously important that you are taking good care of yourself during this quest. You may be lucky enough to get the first role that you go after, but it is likely that this will take some time. And so your personal resilience needs to be high. You'll need to be nicer to yourself if you get the occasional rejection. You'll need to compartmentalize your cognitive overload and really get some training for yourself. There's some great stuff online around mindfulness so you can stay in this zone. So you need to be in extremely good shape to go get this job and wow everyone. And then, of course, we need to think really hard about the skills that the world needs right now and the skills that you have. So the World Economic Forum has laid out the top 10 skills that will take us through to 2025. It's a great range there around innovative and analytical thinking, creativity and originality, leadership and your social influence, all of us can do more to be building that personal brand. And as AI and machine learning march forward, the need for our life skills to be even better developed is really important. How we communicate with empathy, how we can collaborate, how we can get teams, diverse teams, creating high-performance solutions. So those life skills are as important as the skills that are a little more technical in nature. And it is an amazing time. There's an extraordinary quote by Alvin Toffler that says, "The illiterate of the 21st century are not those who are unable to read or write, but those who can't learn, relearn, and unlearn." And I think this is critical for all of us, particularly as you're putting yourselves out there into the job market. Point number 4, I said, I hope you're taking notes, is to research the company and the role really, really deeply. And I really think that it's important here. You have choice. You probably don't want to be taking the very first role that interests you, but use it to really go through this process that I'm about to describe. I think you really need to understand the organization in detail. How do they as a company embed purpose and values? Do they have a consumer grade experience in the way they communicate and hire, develop, and retain employees? Are they thinking about this important social contract and are more human-centric in the way they consider you? And always have very clearly in your mind, is this an organization where you could bring 200% of yourself to work? That you have a sense of belief in what the company does, a sense of that you could belong here and that you might really matter. And I also think it's very important that the organization that you're thinking of joining is either hiring you to do this work or already has it embedded in terms of being connected with the employee, that they exist and have embraced digital, that they are using AI to communicate with you and it is part of your work. So I think it's very important asking yourself one central question: how did this organization's brand, their commitment and promise do through COVID? So think about the company, think about the culture. Does this resonate with you? Is this a company that you would like to join? And of course, do all of your deep research about your interviewer. And maybe it's many, right the way through the HR, through the vertical role that you might be applying for. Find out about that individual. How did they change in COVID? What type of boss would they be for you? And are they a developer of individuals? I think that is one of the most important questions to be asking. And then I think with regard to the role, something that I've always done is to dissect, if the company hasn't done it for you, exactly what that role, what skills are needed. Are they life skills? Is it very high on collaboration, communication? What are the analytical or technical skills? What are the must-haves for this role? And what are the preferreds? And remember, you don't need to have every single one of them perfectly mapped out in your CV, but you do need to have a sense of an attitude and aptitude that this is for you. Always remembering you have choice. And then I would say, in the sort of motivating sense of how should you feel in going for this interview, Firstly, I would say 100% of the shots you do not take will not go in. So go for this role. Give it your absolute utmost. Learn from it and take each of those steps. Because at the end of the day, you need to feel that this is something that you are wowed by, as well as you wowing the company. So good luck, be yourself, be researched, be well, and be brilliant. Thank you.